Face front, all you true believers. Welcome to the first ever podcast of the Geeky Gentleman. I'm your host, David Calderon. Here, we're going to discuss everything that's going on in this nerdy world of ours, from Marvel to DC, comic books to video games, movies to TV, and everything in between. At the end of each episode, I'll have a segment dedicated to helping you guys out there be the best gentleman you can be with tips on grooming and styling. So get ready, because whoever listens to this podcast, if they be worthy, shall possess my infinite knowledge. Alrighty then, enough said. Now in today's episode, we're going to be focusing on some fun and comic book faithful ways that the MCU can begin introducing the X-Men into the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now we do know that the merger between Disney and Fox is finally completed, and fans can rest assured knowing that the X-Men and Fantastic Four are back with Marvel. I'm personally happy about that, but that's a completely other podcast. But right now, we know that the X-Men and Fantastic Four are back home with Marvel. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean we're going to be getting an X-Men or Fantastic Four fully fledged team film anytime soon, but maybe Marvel can begin slowly dropping in some of our favorite mutants throughout the other films that they have lined up. It wouldn't be too hard for them to maybe switch something up in one of the films they have planned, and just introduce a character, for a little bit. So there's a possibility that that can happen. Now, this episode isn't about how the MCU can explain the existence of mutants already. It's just about how they can slowly start incorporating some of these popular characters into the films they have slated that are coming out already. Now, the first X-Men character that I think the MCU can bring into their films is Storm. Now, we've already been welcomed into this wonderful world of Wakanda in the Black Panther films, and we know for sure that we're going to get 2 more films to finish off the Black Panther trilogy. So I think this would be a perfect time to insert Storm as maybe one of the first X-Men we see in the larger MCU. Now, in the comic books, we know that T'Challa and Storm got married, they got divorced, but the whole point is there is comic book precedent for this. And it was actually reconned in the comic books that they met much, much younger, and I believe she saved him at one point. Now, this would be the perfect chance to bring in Storm as a new love interest. Now, I know what you're saying. He's already in love with Nakia, who we met in the first film. Now, if you know your comic book stuff, you know that Nakia also becomes kind of like evil? Maybe not evil, but she actually comes to odds with T'Challa. They don't actually end up together. Now, I think this would be a good time to bring in another love interest, because I think the actress Lupita would be perfect to play as a villain, and I think that actually would be a good arc for a character in the films. And, maybe T'Challa has to seek Storm for help, and it would be so cool to see Storm, flying around using all elemental powers in Wakanda. Now, I also think that adding Storm into the Black Panther films would be a great addition to the Black Panther cast. Now, Marvel seems very keen on keeping the actors as authentic as they can, especially, because all these films take place in Africa. I was really disappointed in both interpretations of Storms that we've seen. Halle Berry had an accent in the first X-Men film, and then all of a sudden she sounded like she was from New York in the next ones. So I really dislike that they completely Americanized her character. So I really do think that Marvel needs to cast someone who can play Storm authentically. She also comes from Africa. So I think Marvel is very, very committed to keeping that going. So I think them adding Storm in this premise of these films that take place in Africa would be the best thing they could possibly do. And a side note, we already saw that T'Challa's mom has white hair. I mean, let's be real, Angela Bassett looked amazing. So she didn't even look that old, but yet her hair was, completely white. So we do know that maybe that's a little hint that, these people out there just with white hair exist. So please bring in Storm. Now, the second X-Men character that I think that they can bring into the MCU, and it completely makes sense, is the character of Rogue. Now, we do know that the film Captain Marvel just came out. So again, we also know the same with Black Panther. We're definitely going to get at least 2 more fully Captain Marvel films to finish off the trilogy. But who knows what her contract is. Maybe Marvel signed her for the rest of her life. But we do know for sure that we will have at least 3. Now, just to preface, again, fans were probably disappointed in Fox's interpretation of Rogue, because let's just say it, she was weak and boring. So I think a lot of people, especially, people around my age and generation, really wanted to see, prime 90s Rogue, flying around the air, super strong, just punching the shit out of things. But we never saw that. Now, in the comic books and even in the cartoon, the popular X-Men cartoon that everyone will watch when they were growing up, we do know that Rogue gains those powers because, again, her actual mutant ability is to just absorb the powers of others, whether usually temporarily, but, given whoever's writing, maybe permanently. But she got that flight and super strength Guess from who? Captain Marvel, or technically back then, Miss Marvel. So I think this is a perfect way to bring in Rogue into the MCU. Now, another reason why I think this might be a good idea is the fact that Captain Marvel currently right now in the MCU is a little OP. And what that means is overpowered. Now, that's okay right now because, she has to take on Thanos. So you needed someone in the Avengers that can actually, take Thanos down. Even though I think Scarlet Witch could have done it. So Marvel, more screen time for Scarlet Witch. But right now, Captain Marvel, as she is a little overpowered. And that, whether it's a good thing, but the bad part about that is it's kind of hard to write around that because then she can essentially, kick everyone's butt. Who's going to be the bad guy that's going to take her on? So I think that bringing in Rogue in the films as a villain, because she has a little villain past when she was introduced in the comic books, I think bringing Rogue in as a way to kind of nerf Carol Danvers, essentially, strip her powers down slightly, would be a good way to make it easier for her to be writable and, write films about her and her new power set and how she has to fight these villains because she doesn't have her full crazy overpoweredness thing going on. And then, she has that because some of her power was transferred into Rogue, who now is flying, smashing things, and kicking butt left and right. Now, I think that would be a great way to bring in Rogue into the MCU and, also help with Carol Danvers being a little, overpowered. I think that would actually be such a fun thing to see. So I can just, already visualize it in my head. So I think that would be a very good way to bring in Rogue. And again, it doesn't even have to happen in the second one. It could probably happen at the end of the Captain Marvel trilogies, and then you're just like, oh crap, what's gonna happen to Captain Marvel now? Or maybe she'll go by Miss Marvel now, and then all of a sudden you'll have, the X-Men team coming around, and then you'll have Rogue, ready to kick butt. So those would be the X-Men characters that I would start introducing into the MCU, given the films that Marvel already has lined up. Now, those are the top two that I think would fit perfectly in right now. I think adding any other X-Men characters is just really trying to force reach them into films, whereas I think Storm and Rogue would actually seamlessly go into these stories, and then, you'll see them later on when Professor X is gathering all his X-Men together. Now comes the gentleman portion of the Geeky Gentleman podcast. Now, like I said, at the end of each episode, I'm going to start giving you guys some of my grooming tips and just everything that I've learned, just to help you become the gentleman you were always meant to be. Cue the music! Now, alright, so the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is one of my favorite products that I've literally have been using since I moved to London, which was 6 years ago. So, if you're looking for something to help even out your skin tone and to, quickly strip away the shine away, I have very oily skin, so I always am, worried about being shiny in pictures and, just in public. But, you're not a fan of makeup, because I don't wear makeup. So you don't want to wear makeup, so you want a product that's going to help you that isn't makeup. Enter Kiehl's Microblur Skin Perfector. Now, what this is, it's essentially kind of a tinted cream. Now, it's really good because it's lightweight and it smooths your skin instantly. Now, once you put it on, I literally put it on my forehead, my nose, aka your T-zone. I actually just put it on everywhere on my face because one of the really good things it does is that it minimizes the appearance of pores and it instantly refines your skin texture. So your face just magically looks super smooth, your pores are hidden away, and it actually improves your skin quality over time. But it doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. You are just, if you have even a little redness or whatever, it completely masks that in a way that doesn't look like you're wearing makeup. Because again, it's kind of like a cream. I really love this. It's one of my favorite things to use on a daily basis. I essentially put it on my face anytime I'm stepping out of my flat or I have to show my face in public. Now, I also use it a lot too because if I ever have to take pictures for Instagram or if I ever actually have to do a video, I'm wearing it right now, I actually just put this on and it completely mattes my face, makes my skin look amazing, and I don't really have to worry about much else. Now, I started using this product 6 years ago and I literally have kept it in my grooming kit since then. I always have it, and I'm always sad when I go to Kiehl's and they don't have it, so I always have it in stock. So if you're looking for something right now that can make your skin look amazing, then check out Kiehl's Microblur Skin Perfector. Alrighty guys, that's it for the first episode of The Geeky Gentleman. Literally, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe and rate this episode. I'll have more episodes coming at you very soon. So until next time, I'm your host, David Calderon, and I will see you later.